Police in the UK have identified the man who carried out a deadly stabbing attack at London Bridge. 2 members of the public died and another 3 people were injured in the stabbing attack carried out by 28-year-old Usman Khan, who police say was a former prisoner convicted of a terrorism offence. He was shot dead by officers after members of the public restrained him. Police have declared the attack as a terrorist incident. London Bureau Chief Samantha Hawley has more from London.
In the last little while, we have had some quite extraordinary reports coming mainly from the Times newspaper, but now also from others, that the offender is actually a convicted terrorist. He was on probation or licence, so he's been released from prison but is being watched by authorities. And apparently, according to these reports, he was attending a Cambridge University conference on prisoner reform at this Fishmongers Hall, a historic site just near the London Bridge. Now, that is where the attack is meant to have started. Then he has fled onto the London Bridge, and we've seen, of course, a lot of amateur video out there now of passers-by trying to then restrain this man before police step in and shoot him dead. Now, of course, police have said that this is a terrorist incident, a terrorist attack. They have tried to, calm the residents of London by saying that they have put extra resources onto the street. A lot more police will be out in London this evening. And earlier this evening we did hear from the Police Commissioner, Cressida Dick. Let's hear what she had to say.
I am deeply saddened and angered that our city of London has again been targeted by terrorism. 2 of those injured in this attack in the London Bridge area have tragically lost their lives. My heart goes out to their loved ones and to the 3 further injured victims who I understand are being treated in hospital. And of course to everybody who has been affected by today's terrible and mindless events.
Now, of course, there will be investigations now into whether this offender is linked to others, if there is any risk still posed in relation to this offender, if he was acting as a lone wolf. Those investigations are continuing, but many questions too now about what police were doing. Were they monitoring him correctly? Was intelligence officials monitoring him? Should they have known that this attack could occur? But as I mentioned, he was at a conference nearby to London Bridge about prisoner reform when the attack began. He is a convicted terrorist, released, we think, about a year ago. Let's hear from Boris Johnson what he had to say a short time ago.
We will make sure that the government gives the police and the security services all the support that they need. There will be now, for reassurance purposes, an enhanced police presence on the streets. I have long argued that it is a mistake to allow serious and violent criminals to come out of prison early. And it is very important that we get out of that habit and that we enforce the appropriate sentences for dangerous criminals, especially for terrorists that I think the public want to see.
Well, of course, it is a very busy time of day there, and security is very tight at London Bridge, particularly after that 2017 attack in the same area, which saw 8 people die. Security is always tight there. There is always a lot of police in the area, and I think police did act very quickly in this case. The offender, I think, was shot dead within 5 minutes after the attack began, and the area was cordoned off very quickly. But there was a lot of chaos, of course, in the interim. People fleeing, running from London Bridge, people stuck in buses, for instance, in cars on London Bridge, and then others seeking shelter in restaurants, in bars, of course, in shops and banks in nearby areas, trying to keep safe. And we spoke to some of those people as they came out of that cordoned off area. Let's hear from some of them.
People screaming and running down the bridge because you cannot really walk First thing we had to do was just run to NatWest and just close. We're trying to find shelter there. Yeah, it was just scary.
My wife was working with me in London Bridge, not far from the city pharmacy. She went on a lunch break to get some coffee and some food, and on the way back she heard some gunshots and everyone was panicking. So they started running towards the London Bridge direction. She got pushed over.
Some of the people that fled from that area, they hid in shops, they hid in restaurants. Some of them were quite distraught, as you could see, as they came out of that cordoned off area. But now I think the questions really will come to the police, to the intelligence agencies, given that we are now learning that this man was a convicted terrorist released from prison last year, and he is meant to be monitored very closely by police. Quite a development here in London, and I suspect many questions to come in the days ahead. And of course that police investigation will continue. 2 people dead, 3 people injured here in London this afternoon.